2 centuries had passed, and the world had long forgotten her. The deadliest warrior, whose name once struck fear into every empire, who had cut down armies with a precision no human mind could match, had fallen into darkness, blind, dormant, sealed away in a chamber carved from black stone and layered with the weight of centuries. Legends whispered her existence, but no one truly believed she could ever return, and yet she waited, patient, aware in ways no one could imagine, every sense muted, every instinct coiled like a spring, ready for the moment that would awaken her. Her tomb was a place frozen in time. Dust hung in shafts of pale light, dancing slowly as if measuring the passing centuries. The walls were etched with warnings, prophecies, and the history of her victories. Every corner of the room held the echo of battles fought and lives ended, a silent testament to the power contained within the woman who had once been unstoppable. The sword she carried, her companion through countless wars, lay across her chest, dulled by the centuries but no less deadly. Every groove, every curve of the weapon seemed alive with memory, as if it too had waited for the moment to feel the pulse of her hand once more. Outside, the world continued, blissfully unaware. Cities thrived, empires rose and fell, generations were born and died, and the memory of her faded into myth. But legends have a way of returning. They do not fade quietly. They wait, they endure, and sometimes it takes only a single spark to awaken what has been sleeping for centuries. That spark came in the form of a human, not a soldier, not a hero trained for battle, just a human guided by curiosity, instinct, and perhaps a reckless sense of courage. Their footsteps echoed across the stone floor as they approached her resting place, eyes widening at the sight of centuries of dust, her armor dulled but still formidable, and the sword that had defined her existence. Every detail of the chamber, the faint cracks in the stone, the dust motes dancing in the air, the way the sword seemed to hum with quiet anticipation, pulled them closer. They reached out, their fingers brushing the hilt, and in that instant the chamber changed. A presence surged, unseen but undeniable, filling every corner, vibrating through the air itself. Dust spun into tiny whirlwinds, shadows stretched unnaturally, and then the whisper came, not spoken aloud but heard directly in their mind. Missed me. Time seemed to tilt. The human stumbled backward, heart pounding, unable to comprehend the force they had awakened. Centuries of blindness and dormancy could not contain her for long. Her fingers flexed instinctively, testing the weight of the blade as memories of countless battles returned in vivid detail. Her eyes snapped open, adjusting to the light of a world that had changed without her. In that instant, she was no longer a story. She was real, immediate, alive. She rose, every movement fluid and deliberate, the armor responding to the pulse of her life. Shadows seemed to bend around her, space itself seeming smaller under the weight of her gaze. The human, frozen with awe and fear, realized that the stories they had heard as myths were true. She was more than legend. She was a force, a living weapon, a being who could not be contained. Her gaze swept across the chamber, cataloging, analyzing, understanding everything at once. The human, the room, the faint vibrations of the outside world. Her presence alone commanded attention. She did not strike, not yet. The awareness in her eyes was enough to assert dominance, to remind the human that they were standing before the pinnacle of centuries of combat. Every instinct screamed to flee, yet fascination rooted them in place. Some forces cannot be ignored. Some legends cannot remain buried. She flexed her fingers around the sword, swinging it lightly in a precise arc. The sound of metal slicing the air echoed like a heartbeat through the chamber. 2 centuries of silence ended in an instant, replaced by the potential of untold power. The human felt the room shift beneath their feet, the weight of history pressing down yet alive, vibrating with the presence of a warrior who had mastered time itself. Her mind cataloged every detail in a single instant. The faint scent of the human's fear, the texture of the walls, the vibrations through the stone floor, the subtle echoes of distant life beyond the chamber. She was awake, fully present, and fully aware. She moved toward the doorway with purpose, deliberate, controlled. Each step a statement. The past was alive again, and the world would know it. And for those watching, for those who dare to witness the impossible, this is where your journey begins. At HFY Echoverse, we explore worlds where humans face legends, where the impossible becomes reality, and where courage meets forces beyond comprehension. Hit subscribe and ring the bell, because some stories wait centuries for someone like you to discover them. The human realized something essential. Some stories do not end. They pause, they sleep, and sometimes they return with a force that reshapes everything. Her presence was proof. She had survived, she had endured, and she was alive. The faint whisper followed her steps. Missed me. It was more than words. It was a warning, a promise, a reminder that time no longer had power over her. 2 centuries of silence had ended, and the world beyond the chamber was unprepared. Every empire, every city, every living being would feel the ripple of her awakening. Her sword gleamed faintly in her grip, alive with the memory of its master. She had returned not just as a warrior, but as a force that could shift the balance of reality itself. The human watched, frozen, understanding the gravity of what had been unleashed. Some forces are beyond comprehension, beyond control, beyond ordinary limits. As she stepped into the world beyond her tomb, the first light of dawn painted the horizon. But for her, the light was irrelevant. 2 centuries of darkness had taught her that survival, awareness, and mastery were all that mattered. She had returned to a world unprepared for her, and yet she did not hesitate. Her presence was a declaration. The past does not die. It waits, it watches, it strikes when the time is right. And she had been awakened, fully aware, fully alive, and fully prepared to remind the world of her existence. Her first steps into the unknown were deliberate. Each movement a demonstration of centuries of skill. Shadows bent, space contracted, and the world beyond would soon feel the weight of her awakening. Missed me. The whisper echoed again, haunting, captivating, a signal that the story was far from over. And for you, the viewer, the adventure is only beginning. At HFY Echoverse, we explore worlds where legends return, where humans confront the impossible, and where the boundaries of time, courage, and destiny are tested. Subscribe, hit the bell, and join us as we uncover stories of power, bravery, and forces that defy everything we know. The deadliest warrior had been silent for centuries. Now she walks among us again. Her story, our story, the adventure, it's only beginning. Every step she takes reminds us that the past is never truly gone. It waits for someone daring enough to awaken it.